Hi there, my name is Toluse Francis, and I want to share something with you that has been on my mind for a while. And this stems from the kind of questions that I've had people ask me, especially about how they have been treated in their supposed relationships that should be a love affair between them and their partners. And it's sometimes confusing sometimes when you're asking yourself, is this what love looks like, or is this how I should feel when I'm in a love relationship? So I want to share certain things with you that I want you to take a step back to ask yourself if this is truly a reflection of what you expect love to be like, or you being loved by that person. So come with me as we discuss this all together. So the first thing I want to share with you is disrespect. If you are in any relationship that makes you feel disrespected, your thoughts are not thought of, your thoughts are not listened to, your words don't matter. It's all about what this other person feels should be done and is adamant about it every time. Then it means they are being disrespected. And disrespect could also come from your body. You know, it doesn't matter that you don't want to be touched at certain times. He or she wants that stuff at every single time. Disrespect is not a hallmark of any love relationship. It is not part of it. And so if you ever feel that this particular person is respectful, either in how they speak to you, or how they treat you, or how they converse with you, that is not what love is about. That is not how your relationship should run. So disrespect is the number one thing that I want you to check in that relationship of yours. The number two thing I want you to check is threats. Any relationship that involves you being threatened is something that you should be wary about. And because you can't be in a relationship and you feel threatened. No. It is important that for every relationship you find yourself, there has to be a level of respect and there has to be a level of mutual conversation that happens. So threats have no place in that relationship. And so it's important that you understand that your partner should not be threatening you. Your partner is supposed to be your partner, supposed to be your person, your man, your woman. All those, if you do this, I'm working out. If you try this, that's the end of this relationship. Now, that is not an excuse for you to misbehave. Trust me. That's not an excuse for you to misbehave. That is not an opportunity for you to lose your home training, if I can use that word. Now, the fact that we're saying that threats should not occur does not mean that you also do not behave rightly or pay attention to your partner's words or feelings, but it doesn't give a room for threat either way. So it's important that you check anything that sounds like a threat to you. It doesn't have to make sense to others. As long as it sounds as a threat to you, then you have to ask yourself, this is kind of relationship that I want. The other one I want to talk about is emotions. People say that you're too emotional. Of course, you are a human being, you're a social being. Emotions are part of what makes you who you are. So it's important that you don't throw away your emotions. It's important that you understand that emotions make you who you are. You can be logical at the same time be emotional. You need a mix of both of them. Love in itself, it comes with a feeling of emotions, right? Yes, we see that love is not just about the emotions. I agree, but it comes with a feeling of emotions. You want to be with that person not just because you logically like the person, but because you feel drawn, you feel attracted to the person. You want to be held by that person. You want to spend time with that person. It's all about the emotion. So it's okay to have emotion. If your partner makes you feel that your emotions don't matter, you want to take a step back to ask yourself certain questions because your emotions is the reason or one of the reasons why you're with him or her. The day you suspend your emotions, that relationship becomes anything else because you then put in logic and logic says, look, this is how I want to do it. It doesn't matter how this person feels. But love relationships are not like that. Love relationships deal with emotions, they deal with thoughts of the other person, they deal with the feelings you have towards the other person, right? So you want to check that. The other point I want to talk about is time. Look, nobody has time. Nobody has time. We make time for the things that matter to us. We make time for the things that are important to us. Nobody has any idle time where they're not doing anything. So if your partner feels like they don't have time for you, it seems like they never have time for you. You want to have a conversation with them. What does it really mean for you to be in love with me? Because if you love me, you will make time for me. Now, it doesn't mean that the person will sit with you 247, 24 hours a day or 12 hours. No, but you want to sit down and have a conversation about it. What do we need to do to keep this conversation going? How do we spend time with each other? Via calls, physically, through games, through movies, through dinner dates, but you just want to make sure they are spending time together because time is of essence in any relationship. Time is the oil that keeps any relationship going. You cannot have conversations or keep communications going if you don't make out time for each other. So it's important that you understand that time is of essence in your relationship. We are all selfish. That's my next point. Selfish. But you see, it's important that when coming to a relationship, don't just look at it asking yourself, what am I off? What do I want from this person? No. You must ask yourself as well, what am I contributing to the life of this person? Right? Because at the end of the day, we all want that kind of a guy, that kind of a lady that will do this for us, that will do that for us. Fantastic. But don't forget that in as much as you're looking for who would do this for you, you must also be asking yourself, what am I contributing to the life of this person? Because at the end of the day, every relationship is mutually inclusive. As you're depositing, you are receiving. Don't just be receiving. Don't be a trash bin, right? Don't just be receiving from the other person you want to. Because if you're not giving, the other person becomes empty at some point because you're not refilling. See that relationship like a bank account, right? So you go to deposit. If you do not withdraw, your money remains there. And if you withdraw, the value of the money, the volume of the money depletes, right? And so it is what you have in your bank account each time that you're able to withdraw. So in every relationship, you keep depositing to the other person for you to be able to withdraw from that other person. You can't just keep withdrawing. At some point, that bank runs dry. Okay. Comparison steals your joy. And if comparison steals your joy, it steals the joy of the other person as well. So stop comparing. Understand who you are with, right? Interact with each other based on your personalities. You saw each other, you knew certain things before you started. Yes, some things will unfold as you get closer and closer. That's okay, that's fine, that's understandable. But you want to understand that the person you're looking at as your partner is not the same as the person you're looking at out there. They are two different people. In a bid to compare both of them, you will be losing the originality of your partner. And so it's important to understand that you can't spend time comparing your partner with another person. You want to spend time with your own partner, understand them. If there are changes you would like to see, you converse, you communicate them, you let them that look, this is something that I hope to see. This is something that I wish you can do. I want to see more of you. I want you to be this, I want you to be that. If you do not have that conversation, you'd find yourself comparing and you cannot be happy. Because as you compare, you become distracted. You become distracted and you're looking for the other person in their own person, which you'll never get. Trust me. Now let's talk about heart. Um, Hurt is a painful thing, right? And I'm not talking about the hurt that happens once in a while. If you feel hurt constantly, this hurt can come from emotions, your emotional violence. It can come from physical. It can come from verbal. Whatever form it is, as long as you're hurt, it is worth a conversation. Because let's tell ourselves the truth: relationships are not always straight line jackets and easy. Nah, there are times that your partner will do something you don't like. There are times that your partner will, be like they hurt you. That's fine, right? But it should not become a pattern. If there's a pattern in which your partner is constantly hurting you, or let me rephrase, you constantly feel hurt by your partner, you have to communicate. Say, look, I feel hurt by this, by this, by this. Now, if there are changes, but then if it becomes a pattern, then you know that there's a bigger issue there and then you want to sit back and deal with it. But most importantly, you deserve not to be in an environment where hurt becomes irregular. No, that's not what relationships are about. Relationships are about caring about the other person's feelings, ensuring that they're in a happy place, right? It's a matter of, you know what, I'll deprive myself of this to make you happy. But you also have to be ready at some point to deprive yourself of something to make the other person happy, right? I hope you got that. Right. Now let's talk about challenges. Now, relationships are expected to challenge you. Your partner is supposed to challenge you to be a better version of yourself, not just in career, not just in your faith, but in every aspect of your life. He or she should be able to say, look, I found this thing. How about you try it? You can do it. I believe in you have the capability. Okay, it's fine. Oh, I found this. Do you want us to try it? You're challenging each other, right? You're challenging each other to be better people. Yes, you met a good person, but you want that person to be better. You want that person to be the best version of themselves. Is your relationship challenging you? Is your partner seeking the best in you, or is it allowing you to be like a desical? Is it allowing you to be laissez-faire? Is she allowing you to put in more and get more because she believes that you can do more? That partner should challenge you. Ask yourself that question. Am I being challenged in this relationship? And finally, but not the least, insecurity. Look, if you feel insecure in your relationships, you have a big problem, because everything that your partner does, you would assume that he's doing them to hurt you. Everything that your partner does, you assume that she's doing them because she doesn't respect or honor or adore you. So you need to ask yourself, am I being insecure, or is there something that is happening that is making me feel this way? You can't have a good relationship if you're insecure. You need to have a secure attachment. However, if the insecurity is coming from what your partner is doing, you must talk about it. Now, you see, I've said a lot about talking about. And that's because I believe so much that, if I not just I believe, that's the same to work, that within relationships, a lot of matters will be resolved if it's been communicated. If conversations are being held, right, a lot of matters will be resolved. But what we find out these days is people keep things to themselves. I've been guilty as charged before. Keep things to themselves, and then little things begin to pile up, and then one day, boom, the lid busts open, and you're wondering how long have you kept this to yourself. So it's important that if you feel any of these things that I've mentioned, or even those that I haven't mentioned, try to see that you can have a conversation with your partner, discuss about them, agree on how do you move forward from there, and you'll be amazed at how your relationship will turn around. I hope this has made so much sense to you. Once again, thank you for watching my channel. Please feel free to send your questions. I offer counseling and for therapy with the mental health and relationships. I also speak to tech organizations in terms of operations. Please subscribe to this channel, share this video, drop your comment. We run a community called Rise Above It on WhatsApp. Do not hesitate to join. There I share tips from time to time to encourage you, to push you. It's like, come your way again. Stay G.